She built a $5 million fortress on ground that wasn't hers mine. Actually in the world just nodded along, shuffling papers in the shadows. But when you've spent your life poring over ancient charts and tracing how boundaries shift like sand, you learn to spot the cracks everyone else ignores. What she hid wasn't just dirt. It was a forgotten vow, buried deep, praying no one would unearth it. I did. And what unfolded next? It's the sort of tale that grips you tight, makes you question power, justice, and how far you'd go to fight back. If it were you, would you walk away? I'm Ethan, a middle school history teacher with a knack for old maps and forgotten stories. Back in 2018, I finally scraped together enough to buy this quiet plot in Willow Creek subdivision. Nothing flashy, just a shady spot under ancient maples where I pictured my simple cabin, a wraparound deck for lazy evenings. After years in noisy rentals with walls thin as paper and neighbors blasting tunes till dawn, this felt like freedom. The agent pushed the deal hard, calling it a prime opportunity, which, looking back, should have screamed warning. But at 38, I was done wasting rent. This was my shot at roots. Then this sleek black SUV rolls up, and out steps Victoria. She was all gloss designer shades, tailored blazer, the kind of poise that screams, I own this zip code. Turns out, she practically did as the HOA president. Welcome to Willow Creek, she says, but her eyes are scanning my land like a hawk eyeing prey, noting my survey flags and the lumber I'd stacked hopefully by the big maple. What followed was a half-hour sermon on rules I never signed up for. No dark trash bins, paint only in approved earth tones, mailboxes precisely 44 inches high. Even the trees needed her stamp? I forced a grin, but each dictate tightened like a noose. In hindsight, it wasn't about order, it was dominance. She hands me this brick of a binder, the HOA Bible, thudding like a threat, pages crammed with regs on lawn length, fence types, and holiday lights. As she's droning on about compliant wreaths, my retired neighbor, old Mr. Harlan, waves from his flower bed, soil-caked hands, and a warm smile clashing with her Ice Queen vibe. After she peels off in a perfume haze, he shuffles over. Good to have fresh faces, he mutters, then drops it casual-like. They had grand visions for a kid's playground here in the late 90s. Swings, paths, the whole deal. Odd how it vanished. His tone lingers, not alarm, but something shadowed, like regret wrapped in caution. He turns back to his roses, leaving me clutching that binder, wondering what ghost he just stirred. 3 weeks on, a certified envelope arrives from Willow Creek HOA, stamped urgent in blood-red ink. Inside, accusations of trespassing on newly annexed common space, threats of lawsuits if I don't cease illegal builds. But my lot's untouched stakes and dreams, that's it. Digging in, I find Victoria snagged a sliver of abandoned city land right beside mine. Bought for peanuts, timed too perfectly to be chance. That night, maps and deeds sprawl across my table, her purchase angles straight at my build site. If she knew that sliver was up for grabs, what else was she hiding? How long had she eyed this spot? I dive into City Hall that weekend, fluorescent buzz and stale coffee fueling my hunt. As a teacher, research is my wheelhouse, and something reeks. What I uncover boils my blood. Over 7 years, Victoria scooped up 9 scraps of public land, cheap, strategic, circling high-value spots like a vulture. Pattern screams plot. When I grill Paul Reynolds at planning, he shrugs it off. Empty lots waste taxes. Smart someone sees value. His evasion reeks of script, fingers twitching like he's dodging landmines. Files archived. He mumbles, eyes glued to his screen. Weeks for public docs? Bull. The real bomb drops at the county library's dusty vaults. In a folder yellowed since the Bush-era Serenity Park, 1995, there it is, a taxpayer-funded gem, $2.8 million greenlit, built by 97. Maps match Victoria's build site dead on. Her pool foundation over old slide bases. Boundaries redrawn slyly, erasing a playground into her empire. Photocopies in hand, I pass her site workers pouring concrete where kids once laughed. It's a funeral in cement, dreams drowned under luxury. Time to push. I fire off a letter to the HOA board, attachments highlighting the mismatch, demanding answers. Innocent mix-up, right? 2 days later, Victoria calls at dawn, sugar-coated venom. Ethan, Let's keep this quiet come chat. I counter. Explain it publicly at the meeting. Silence stretches, then her chill. Proper channels, Ethan. Proper? Like stealing a park? Retaliation hits like a storm. Violations flood in. Overgrown grass, mine's trimmed. Wrong parking, in my drive. Trash bin sins. Rumors swirl I'm unstable. Trouble, a conspiracy nut. Neighbors avert eyes. The lady next door hustles her kid inside like I'm toxic. Flyers appear. Unsafe elements threatening our homes. Nameless but pointed. My trumpet-practicing neighbor kid falls silent. Tires slashed, one dawn message clear. You're stuck. We're not. Exhausted, I hire James Harlan, a sharp attorney from a buddy's messy split. His office reeks of aged files and resolve. I lay it out. He pours over, magnifying glass in hand. This ain't neighbor beef, Ethan fraud, big time. Pull this thread, who knows what unravels. Victoria amps the smear. I'm the villain, harassing a community hero. Court day, her shark lawyer twists our proof into vendetta, painting me obsessed. Judge buys it. No hard fraud dismissed. Crushed, I watch her smirk by her luxury ride, victory etched. But James calls that night, electric. Sat down? Found 95 council minute spark built. Used till 05. Heart pounding. Vanished how? He digs deeper. Lands Mark Sullivan, ex-HOA maintenance head, retired and skittish in his tidy duplex. Can't talk Scott Reach. But conscience cracks. I built it swings, trails, pavilions. Families thrived for a decade. Victoria, post-08 takeover, dismantled it. Unsafe, gear ripped out, paths taped off, tables deemed nuisance. Reclassified, abandoned, records lost. Photos from his box. Kids mid-swing, where her pool gleams now. Theft of joy, not just land. Second hearing crackles with tension gallery packed. Whispers of the lost park, buzzing. James unleashes, approvals, pics, logs of her sabotage. Mark testifies, voice cracking. Tore down swings where grandkids played safety lie. She built her palace on their echoes. Side-by-sides gut punch, laughing tots versus. Her tiled oasis. Victoria crumbles, no defense as James presses. Explain playground to pull? Judge thunders, fraud proven forfeit land. Repay $2.8 million, demolish mansion. 6 months later, Serenity Park blooms and new swings sparkle. Plaque reads, restored 2025, for our future. A boy dashes past, laughter where her door stood. It's not vengeance, it's reclaiming what's communal, proving some fights echo louder than money. But think, was Victoria a monster, or just playing the game we all ignore? If power lets you erase public good for private gain, who's really at fault, the thief or the system? Would you expose it, risking everything, or stay silent for peace? Drop your take below. Did Ethan go too far, or not far enough? Like if this fired you up, subscribe for more real-life reckonings that hit hard.